release of the new movie Deepwater Horizon focuses attention again on the massive oil spill, the BP oil spill in 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico, and that long road back to recovery from that disaster. Today we're going to look at the testing results of Dillard University after it looked at some of those areas impacted. The spill impact still to this day on some hard-hit areas like Grand Isle, Port Fourchon, just a few of the examples. The new testing the group is about to undertake as well, we're going to talk about that. And with us today is a professor of urban studies at Dillard University, Dr. Robert Collins, and student Kristen Thomas. Thank you guys both for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
How are you doing today?
Great.
Good. Okay, so let's start. Dillard received a grant, right? Okay, you did some air sample testing a year and a half ago. Then you submitted what you guys found to the National Science Foundation, and they have since published those key findings. So, Professor, let me start with you first. Tell me what are some of the headlines people need to know about based on the sample test you took and what people need to know that is still around us.
Well, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that when you have a deep water spill like the Deepwater Horizon, the oil doesn't just float to the surface and then float away. The oil actually stays at the bottom of the ocean, then it's continually turned by the wave action, and it comes on shore and it's released into the air. So just because you don't see the oil doesn't mean that the contaminants are not there. And oil, and not only crude oil, but the chemical dispersants that the oil companies use to disperse the oil, that also is in the water and is released into the air, and it releases substances that we call genotoxins. And a genotoxin basically is a substance that potentially can cause a genetic mutation or, including cancer.
So what does that mean for the areas you guys focused on?
So, well, we tested for a period of 4 years, and we're actually about to go back and test again this coming November, based on the grant we have from the National Science Foundation. And the results that we showed levels of genotoxins times higher than the non-contaminated control group that we used on the coast.
For what particular areas, and what does that mean for the people there?
Our testing sites we're Grand Isle, Port Fourchon, and Elmer Island. But you can imagine. I mean, if we test in Grand Isle and Port Fourchon, this spill uniformly covered the entire coast of Louisiana.
So if I live there right now and I hear you saying this, what should my concern be?
Well, I would be concerned with the air quality, and I would monitor the air quality in the area. We're continuing doing studies. Our lead biologist, Dr. Bernard Singleton, published a study on the results in Grand Isle. People can go to our website and get that. Can get the publication. We're continuing to monitor the area, but there are serious public health concerns because when people are breathing in genotoxins that are at levels 6 times higher than what the EPA considers safe, you're going to have long-term public health concerns. And again, one of the things we know about public health concerns is that the public health effects sometimes do not show themselves until 10 or 15 years after the accident.
So you're part of the ongoing testing and things that you're finding, and we're still learning as we move forward what kind of lingering effects there still are. As a student, what do you take away from this, doing this in your backyard where you live and you're going to school?
Well, actually,
and what is this and how does
well,
this work?
This is actually a mini valve. This is something that we use to collect samples. Basically, it's a filtering tool. So basically, air would go in and come out, but the toxins that we want, we try to trap them. Basically, if I take this off, you can actually see that there is a filter within here. So when the air comes through, it will get trapped, and once we trap it, then we can take the samples, bring them back to the lab, and then properly show what we find.
What do you hope to do after you leave Dillard?
Well, after I leave Dillard, actually, I want to continue working with research. This is actually my first project as a student researcher, and by it being so close to home, it really touched me. So it made me want to I found like a real love for research. So following, leaving Dillard, I hopefully can go into graduate school and continue to do work like this.
That's very impressive. And with the spill, and I know there's a smaller one that you guys are checking into, Baylong, is it?
Baylong, yes.
Baylong, and so there's a lot that you guys are doing. Dillard is doing a lot that's still happening in our community years after the BP oil spill. Interesting to look at your study. Where can people get some more information?
They can go to my website, drrobertcollins.com, and we'll also put the publication up on the Dillard University website at dillard.edu.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming in. Fascinating stuff. But this is happening right in our backyard. Appreciate it.
Yes,
thank you for having me.